Hey there, and welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Night Lite. I want to kick it off this week by just looking at some highlights of what's been going on this week at LSM.
Yep, there you go.
What? How did you get on the roof? Holy...
So maybe things look different than they ever have before, but what if we believed that this was true about us tonight? What if we heard Jesus saying to us, hey, I got you. You're going to receive power from the Holy Spirit. Your power to make it through school or sports or whatever that looks like, your power is not going to be your own. It's going to come from me.
Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Oh, and you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing, and you say I am strong when I think I am weak, and you say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me, I believe.
And what if we took that and we were Jesus' witnesses this year? What if we told others about the power and strength that we had that comes from Jesus? What if we in this room were the witnesses over at the junior high or the middle school or down at the high school or at the football games this year? What if we were the ones that were telling people about Jesus? The ones in the locker rooms, at band practice. What if we were the ones that were telling others about Jesus?
Well, as you can see, we've been having a blast this week here at Lifeway Student Ministry, and I just want to let you know about some exciting things that we have coming up in the coming weeks. First off, tomorrow night at 7 p.m., we will be going live on Twitch for Twitch Church, or as we like to call it, Twerch. So come twerch with us on Twitch tomorrow night at 7 p.m. The link is in our Instagram bio. You can find us on Twitch at Lifeway Student Ministry. Second, we will be back next Wednesday night for LSM in person. So come next Wednesday night, 6:30, we'll be meeting outside. Masks will be required. We're going to be socially distanced, but we're going to have some fun together. So we're so excited to see you next Wednesday night. And lastly, if you haven't already, please be sure to download our Lifeway app. You can search for it in the App Store at Lifeway Salina, or you can find the link in our Instagram bio as well. But that app is how we're going to push out all of our information this year. From parent information to United signups to whatever comes up, we're going to be pushing it out through the app. So you'll want that to stay updated this year. Alright, so last week during the sermon, we talked about Acts chapter 1, verse 8, where Jesus tells his disciples that they will receive power from the Holy Spirit and they will be his witnesses around the world to tell others about him. This week, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the book of Acts, but I didn't want to do that just myself, so I got a professor from my college to help explain the book of Acts to us.
Hello, I'm Professor J.T. Talkington, and I'm here to teach you this afternoon about the book of Acts. Now, the book of Acts was actually written by the same person who wrote the book of Luke, which of course was Luke. The book of Acts is meant to be a sequel to the book of Luke, a part 2, if you will, and it continues the story of Jesus' disciples. In fact, it's meant to be an encouragement to you and I. It tells of the disciples' struggles and troubles that they faced in their time. And so we know that maybe we get made fun of for our faith, or maybe we face troubles in our life, but we can be encouraged because Jesus' disciples went through it too. Now, you can trust me. I am a professor.
As the professor mentioned, this book is meant to be an encouragement to you and I, to the followers of Jesus, because it tells us exactly what Jesus' followers went through. And it's meant to encourage us with that. I mean, these guys were beaten, murdered, arrested. Many of them were made fun of and ridiculed in society. But through it all, they were able to point others to Jesus because of the Holy Spirit within them. They reflected Jesus to others because of the Holy Spirit in them. Now, before we wrap up this week, I just want to reflect on that for a second. And I want to ask, do our actions reflect Jesus to others? Does the way we speak, act, and treat others point people to Jesus? Do the things we watch and listen to, the things we consume, does that point others to Jesus? Are we telling people that we follow Jesus, but yet we know that we follow all those people on TikTok who have borrowing videos? Or maybe do we tell people we follow Jesus, but we refuse to sit with that one person because they're not cool enough? Do our actions reflect Jesus to others? My challenge for you this week would be to think of one way this week that you could reflect Jesus to somebody else. Maybe it's as simple as going out of your way to talk to that one person that you don't normally talk to. Maybe it's inviting somebody to come to church with you, to come to LSM with you next week. Maybe it's just being a positive encouragement to somebody that you know is having a rough week this week. But what is one thing that you can do this week to reflect Jesus to others? Well, hey, thank you for tuning into this week's edition of Wednesday Night Lite. We can't wait to see you next week.